Take 15-year-old Ria. She has a stable relationship with food. She might grab a piece of chocolate after school without giving it a second thought. That stability breaks when a group of classmates begins making targeted, persistent jokes about her weight. Ria begins to view herself more and more as an object for others to judge. This constant state of self-observation makes every social interaction feel like a minefield she cannot navigate. Under the pressure of these comments, her confidence in her own choices begins to erode. To manage the chaos of her social life, she turns to her diet. She begins to severely restrict her food intake, believing skipping meals will provide a concrete sense of authority over her changing body. This initial restriction engages the first lock in a dangerous, self-sustaining biological trap. This flowchart illustrates the mechanics of that trap. Severe calorie restriction forces the body into a starvation state. To survive, the brain triggers a primal, uncontrollable drive to eat, resulting in a binge. Once the biological urge to eat is satisfied, it is immediately replaced by intense psychological guilt. Ria is left with the terrifying realization that she has lost the very control she was trying to maintain. To manage that distress, she turns to self-induced vomiting. The purge acts as a mechanical attempt to erase the guilt and reset the system, which only leads her back to further restriction. This cycle inflicts severe, hidden damage. Stomach acid erodes tooth enamel and can cause irreversible tearing of the esophagus. Most dangerously, it disrupts electrolyte levels, which can lead to sudden, life-threatening cardiac arrest. The emotional wound of bullying has successfully transitioned into a self-sustaining physical machine. The loop is now independent of her original intentions. Breaking this cycle requires an external intervention. Family-based treatment, or FBT, tasks parents with taking full, temporary control of the refeeding process, removing the burden of food choices from the adolescent. During mealtimes, the family maintains a strictly neutral environment. They agree to ban all talk of calories, portion sizes, or weight, focusing entirely on a calm, supportive atmosphere. The strategy continues after the meal. Parents engage the adolescent in immediate distractions, such as playing a board game or watching a film together. This constant supervision serves a mechanical purpose. By keeping her occupied and away from the bathroom, the parents physically sever the connection between the binge and the purge. FBT acts as an external shield. It holds the physical behaviors at bay, creating the necessary time and safety for deeper psychological work to begin. While FBT manages the behavior, Enhanced Cognitive Behavior Therapy, or CBTE, targets the internal mechanics. It is designed to dismantle the specific thoughts that keep the loop spinning. Therapy begins with an individualized map. The therapist works with Ria to identify the exact anxieties and dietary rules that are unique to her experience. Once the map is clear, the treatment focuses on modifying her rigid restraints. Ria learns to systematically challenge her extreme concerns about body shape and weight, replacing them with more flexible, healthy patterns of thinking. This rewiring process addresses the underlying power source of the disorder. It ensures that once the physical cycle is stopped, the internal triggers no longer have the power to restart it. The transition out of the cycle is often physically painful. Stopping the purge behavior can trigger sudden withdrawal symptoms, including swollen salivary glands and significant fluid retention in the extremities. These symptoms make the early stages of recovery exceptionally difficult. Staying the course requires constant medical monitoring and significant personal resilience from the patient. As the body stabilizes and the psychological therapy takes effect, the focus shifts to independence. Parents begin the structured process of returning age-appropriate control over food choices back to the adolescent. Recovery is a slow, methodical transfer of authority. It culminates in the patient managing their own health without the interference of the disorder. Eating disorders exist as complex, hijacked physiological loops. They are medical conditions, not choices or attention-seeking behaviors. These cycles are often triggered by external trauma, turning an adolescent's natural drive for survival against them. However, with science-backed therapy and relentless family support, these circuits can be broken. The loop can be stopped, allowing young people to reclaim their health and their futures.